haven't been able to reach just yet. Will they be able to kick their season off with a solid start against a team that's already 1-0? Team Liquid, 2 games in 1 week. It's also a bit of a challenge, something that most teams will have to grasp and deal with later on. Liquid defensive side with FUT on the attack, and the barriers have already gone up. They went for a little bit of an attack inside B main, but Enzo's being forced back, and that's going to be his flash used up already.
Yeah, we haven't seen anything from FUT so far. That's sort of the major advantage they've had of not having to play those double games. For Liquid, well, we've seen them, of their last 4 matches, play Koi 3 times. So it's not a massive learning curve for how they've been playing so far. I feel like Koi is definitely down the bottom of most people's list. Krax, though, looking to try and lead that charge. Counter utility being expended in an attempt to slow him down. It hasn't worked out, but that initial fight doesn't go his way.
Well, that was all a ruse, though. The real play coming in towards this A site. Flash is still at the ready. We saw the paranoia from Mystic slow them down, but he's being dropped. And now the players up in heaven have to hold it all. Nats has support, though. Kiko's come through, but he's not needed. Every shot connected by Nats. 3 headshots. And Enzo to close out the round. Team Liquid take the pistol.
Yeah, good start. I think it's going to be important. As it was mentioned on the desk, they've definitely looked good over on that attacking side. And I think someone who started to really come to life or get back into the swing of things is Nats. Had a couple of really solid games going through over the last few weeks. Nonetheless, pistol round under their belt. And it's definitely interesting when watching FUT, because you have to bear in mind, like, considering the map pool that we have coming up a little bit later on, their Icebox comp was not great. Like, they were running a Phoenix on Icebox, which is not something many do for a multitude of reasons. They haven't really changed anything coming into this one. Still running that chamber, which is interesting because I feel like if you're running a chamber, you can definitely run a jet. And if you've got CNED, you should probably be running a jet.
We heard it from the desk earlier on, but I guess if he's going to be on anyone else, let's see the chamber. Now he has claimed a lot of space getting up into heaven with that wall. It's allowed them to be close here for easy trades on those initial kills, taking down CNED, but Liquid have lost 2 players for it. The A site's wide open. Well, not really. Yumpy had come through heaven, and that was the spot they were planting for. A little bit of an oversight, having lost the control. No safe plant means now they're delayed, and these Liquid players can find an easier time to break back through, but a stinger in the hands of Yedije. He's very low, but it might not matter. All they need to do is win a couple more individual fights. The numbers by their side, but not anymore. Kiko pulls it back to a 2v2. Spike still not planted, but a flank underway from Captain's caught Yumpy with a classic. This is a messy round, but FUT are thriving in this chaos. The drop down from Kiko isolates one, and now he's got the second in towards main, tucked in the corner, has to try to reposition, and somehow Captain wins that with a classic. 1-1, and I am perplexed by what I've just witnessed. That's a rough start for Liquid.
I want to delete this round from my brain, like, genuinely. Don't get me wrong, some decent trading at points, but it just seemed like, yeah, I thought that he'd lost it at this point, because you're a classic going up against a rifle, and I don't know, add a captain up to add a captain things, but that is just a horrific start to the game for Liquid. Get yourself the pistol under your belt, lose to what was, just a headhunter and some classics? Yep. That was it.
Yeah, Captain's positioning was fantastic to grab a kill for free. How he gets away with another is inconceivable, and now it seems like the return is there. Classic kill for Team Liquid. They're rushing down. They've got another. What is going on in this game? FUT are in a 3 versus 4. 2 weapons retrieved for Liquid. Nats has ult, so even the rotation towards the B side could be that little bit easier.
Own as well. Like, all of them are playing on their own. Every single player is taking a fight on their own. Captain gets away with it, but everything the FUT is doing is so unbelievably risky. Finally, we're actually going to see 2 players gather up and play together for the first time this round.
That was a flash used up by Enzo that forced them back, made them play as a team. Captain couldn't take that fight alone. Now, Team Liquid look to set their sights on the site. Move in towards the spike. Smoke still online, one used just now, but that angle, it works perhaps to Mr. Fallen's favor. It's all down to timing and wall bangs apparently as Captain picks another, and those rifles now look a little more valuable saved through. Enzo's running for the hills while Nats chases them down to grab an extra kill or go down to the spike. Either way, same result. He'll have money for the next. 2-1 in favor of FUT. And, well, a head-scratcher of a start. This isn't normal Valorant, that's for sure. I think we'll level out pretty soon.
Yeah, it's not been the most enjoyable either. I mean, even still, this round easily could have gone back in the other direction. The fact that Liquid managed to kill off 3 players is not too bad. Still, the finances are going to be fine for the side of FUT. And while most of the kills have gone to Ana Captain, so he will have himself from the shadows. Mystic has proven that ult can be valuable on this map, but for the most part, not really. Unless he's just going to TP back into the B side, which is probably the most common play you have with that ult.
Yeah, just a little bit of recon to reveal up that corner. Make your crosshairs focused on the right as your team breaks out for FUT. That might come into play, but for now they're in a default. Those spams are getting very close, and then a little closer. Nice shot by CNED. And Yumpy's utility now out of the round. This is big for blocking and denying a lot of the control. Now FUT can feel much more free to take that space. Or Team Liquid will have to fill in with 3 players to cover it.
Yeah, it does look like they're expecting
4
the
players.
push to continue in this direction. They've got their paranoia ready. They're just waiting for some contact, but that contact is not coming. The rest of FUT have quickly rotated back in the other direction, and that realization is slowly going to be there for Team Liquid as they now look to back. Well, I say back, go forward, but Enzo's won the fight. That's going to be Ana Captain down. It will at least leave them in a 4v4 scenario as the site will be taken completely by FUT. There is nothing that can be done. And well, CNED's finally put his trap down. It's going to go in to catch anybody rotating it. He just holds onto it for the majority of the round.
Post-plant trap. Yeah, we saw Mystic very cautious about Heaven. They knew they'd given up the control, but FUT walked all the way to site. They took control there, and there's no post-plant setup in Heaven. Instead, it's screens. FUT don't want to let them near the spike by this route. Instead, they'll fight, but the paranoia pushes them back. Puts Yedege in an awkward spot, but the paranoia faded. Enzo on the trade, 3v3, but time ticking away, and it's position from Cracks! How has he gotten away with 3? FUT off to a flying start now, 3-1.
He is someone that just seems to have the ability to miss the easy kill and then hit the most insane ones. That's the mantra of Cracks, and he's someone I've been looking forward to seeing back on the stage again. Definitely had some underwhelming performances. Obviously, a lot of what we saw from him last year was KO. Yeah. Pretty much every single map.
It's weird for me to not see him on a KO even now.
It does seem like he's fleshing out his map pool a little bit more, or his agent pool. Once again, we're going to see this push coming through from Liquid. They are wanting to try and remove middle control from their opposition, trying to push their opponents back. Mr. Fallen is waiting. There's a lot of players on the other side, though. He does have the support.
God, that timing, terrible, though. You know, Liquid have been big fans of these mid-crunches. We saw it in the last series on Split as well. I think it might have even been a pistol round crunch off the back of the paranoia. They attempted it in round 4. This time, a much more aggressive face to begin the round. But once again, they fall back. And this space is taken freely by FUT. Little committed, a boom bot to clear a corner, a shift walk in, a ton of control, with Heaven actually given up. And that's an interesting facet to Liquid here. They're playing full retake on A. They want the fight on mid. Funnily enough, FUT came there, and now they're left to not quite retake it, but to retake some control. The fight in Heaven on the back of the paranoia that didn't connect, but Yumpy, he connected, and the trades are good. The numbers are for Liquid.
It does mean the site's going to fall in their control. No ultimates available. A very open plant for Mr. Fallen. Ana Captain's been great so far, but he'd need to hit some instantaneous shots. Yedege thought about going for the same peak with the majority of players there. He's going to have to do something pretty impressive, but he does catch out Kiko. And now there's going to be doubt in the minds of the remaining Liquid players of where they're going to be coming from. The drop down, Mr. Fallen catches another one. They isolate all of the battles. A 2v4 won by FUT, and they barely take any damage for it.
Just a spectacular read from Yedege. He stood at the top of the ramp and waited for his chance, and he knew that that would be signaled by Liquid. The second a piece of utility, the nade in this case, was heard, he swung. Because when they throw that utility, where are they going to be looking? Towards the site. He catches only Kiko, who's running in to help his teammates fight the site, just slices them up perfectly.
And I think that's been one of the really interesting things. Obviously, we look at these two teams and
I'm curious to see, you know, FUT obviously have their ideas for pushing him off this. I don't think it's a secret that he's a pretty good Jet player. But I'm expecting to see him put up numbers. We have been for a while. It's been flashes in the pan here and there. FUT fully equipped on this round. Showstopper in the back pocket. CNED's got his ult, but doesn't really need to use it. And on the other side, haven't even mustered an outlaw. The credits would have allowed it, could have allowed it, but instead it's just going to be a very low buy from this Liquid squad. Even players refusing to upgrade pistols, and Enzo losing his life right off rip. That was their Marshall up top. It will be recovered by Kiko, but it will be avoided by FUT as they shift towards the other side of the map. And again, the attack reads have been fantastic. There was a bait play round 4, a trap set by Liquid on mid. FUT walked towards mid and avoided it. The last round, there was a trap set up on mid. FUT waited 40 seconds and avoided it. And this time, there's a trap set up on A. FUT have avoided it, and they've walked into B. The plant will be coming in the next 15 to 20, and it's going to be a tough retake for Liquid as their numbers are thinned out.
We need to study CNED's trap usage. Honestly, it's beautiful. There might be someone here. I'm going to place this here, and I'm just going to walk away. It's been like that every round, and then they just break it and carry on.
And with the kills, the map control, the orbs they've been taking, we came into this round 2 ultis, now we've got 4. So a lot for FUT to fall back on, not just here, because, you know, it doesn't look like
That's a nice shot.
Yeah, it doesn't look like they'll need any of those ultis. But the next round, when Liquid eventually invest their credits, yeah, they're going to be up against a stacked arsenal.
Yeah, I think we have to also talk about the context of this matchup. Sure, it's super early in the season, but with tough groups, I think a lot of expectations for both these teams right now being around the middle of the table. You're looking at your KC and Heretics being off to a flying start, Na'Vi looking pretty good. I think expectations for Fnatic to eventually come back and climb up. New Vitality roster as well. The expectation is, where do Liquid and FUT sit within this? And if this is going to be a sort of a steamroll, as it seems to be in these first few rounds, I think there'll be serious worries for Liquid, even though they've already won themselves a match. It's one of the matches I think expectations were towards the bottom of the table, if that's where Liquid are going to sit. So, looking for a response. They've definitely got a star-studded roster, but a lot of them yet to come online. And although we do love Enzo, if he's at the top of the board, that can be a little bit of a scary prospect for the rest of the team.
Yeah, one of the best players in the world for sure, but we don't expect him to have a Nats and Kiko combined sort of performance. Yeah, no. 5-1 is a tough position to sit. FUT already have a great attack side built up. The foundations are there, and they've got more to work with. Wisely avoiding that showstopper. Mystic backs out. Traps destroyed. The shot in the back site, but it's being given up. Liquid want the retake on the B site, or perhaps the spams on the cross, but oh no, in fact, they want to get involved right here and now. Showstopper in, and it's found one, but Ada Captain got him first, and CNED's doubled up. This is looking like a FUT round. Good response by Nats to keep it doable. I'm worried about that Viper's pit, though.
Spike planted.
I don't know if there's necessarily a spot to really use it. One player spotted, but ends up being bait, and Mystic, he's having a little bit of trouble with the boombot. 3 players still to find, and just to reposition, hoping he'll get an extra fight. He will, but Mr. Fallen is more than waiting for him. It's aggressive once again. But this is the problem. The FUT managed to build up a lot of those rounds without actually using any of those ultimates. Yep. Then they have the ultimates to get them into the site, get into the post farm, and thus far, I don't want to say the retakes haven't been great. They haven't been able to get near the retakes a lot of the time because someone has challenged them. And the players on FUT are very good at making a lot of these retakes become dysfunctional because of the space they're constantly challenging for.
Well, this is it. In almost every round here on the attack, you can see FUT take space. Even the showstopper here, you know, I think it was fantastic. Didn't get a kill, doesn't give Cracks any stats, but it got them a site that at that point, Liquid even used a showstopper to try and get back out of their hands. That resulted in just a trade. If anything, it was better the way that FUT used it. Not that you can really control those things. Ada Captain hit the shot. It is what it is. But for FUT, everything is working out. They're 6-1 in the lead. Barely, I mean, no challenge since the pistol round from Team Liquid. The one thing that's been going well for them, as we said, was being able to thread the needle on Liquid, find opening picks, and then use the map control. Now, it's a full default from the defensive side, so FUT will have to break through this defense the old way.
CNED, even with the amount of credits, has decided not to buy a weapon behind that tour de force. They've not been able to clear the trip, and he's already used himself a couple of bullets. They're actually starting to fade back to mid. That's a big kill, though. Lurker gone. Kiko's starting things off strong, but it still seems like the A site is where they decided to go. Yumpy, though, caught sleeping a little bit. And while Captain may be thinking that's a little bit more clear than it was, even still, it's pulled players away from middle, and it would just be the players on site.
Yeah, they read the Liquid have over-rotated before, but that's not the case this time.
left.
Still 2 on site, though. They're ready to fight. Enzo picks one, flash up top, barely needed, and the player already crossed his sight. Will not be spotted, at least not at the start. The cage almost works out as he emerges from it for another. Krax is unstoppable until he meets Mystic. 2 rounds on the board for Liquid at last.
I'm going to be honest, I was even scared with Mystic running through that smoke because
when those first few shots didn't hit?
Yeah, it gives another 1v1 that you have to be scared that Krax could win, but there is a response. Liquid back onto the boards. Again, some audacious plays coming through the side of FUT, but they have so many credits to play with. Like, they are coming back in with still even post-buy every single player around that 4,000 mark or above. By the looks of it, they might be about to go for something a little bit quicker. Every single player built up outside this B site.
Well, FUT have had success with controlling the map. Now it's a more direct approach. Very strange. Viper's Pit goes up mid. FUT go back with 2 players, in fact, towards the mid angle. Viper's Pit used by the attacking side on B, but it's only to get out. But there's a trap there. This is the other problem. These traps have been on A. Instead, now it's actually working perfectly against this crowd. And in fact, there's a good chance they don't have the patience to slowly approach this angle, that they move out without thinking about those traps. And Nats can find himself a free kill on the reveal. If not, there's still a player in Enzo that's close. They've spotted they're still around this angle. Cage is going to give it away. Now they should know. Now they're looking for traps.
Definitely an interesting Cage. I don't know how much that's helped. I imagine there's going to be a pot flash, though. That's the goal here from FUT. Just send it straight out. Nats hiding back, waiting on the corner, but he's only going to get the one and giving them the space. Krax has done well, and seen it again, just trading off of him. Gives that man advantage once again. The Viper's Pit can hold the flank, and it leaves the 2 remaining players coming back in from mid. With an educated guess, you're going to know that's where Yumpy is. It's mainly Kiko's position that they're unaware of.
Your nade's going to do next to nothing here. Destroy a little bit of utility at best, but fighting through that pit's not the best of options, even in the worst of times. A flank up from Captain, something we've said before. But it's only really finding value if they were committing to it. As we can see, Liquid have fallen back. They go to save these weapons. It's a forfeit round, one they'll give to FUT, a 7th clocked up for the attacking side, and they're not guaranteed these weapons just yet. I do see the reposition to CNED, and he's moving to mid, so it seems safe enough. Captain, if he sprints, Kiko could be in danger, but it looks like they'll stay safely tucked away.
Yeah, he doesn't know where the remainder are. It's looking good for FUT, and again, a lot of that just comes off of having that Viper's Pit, the burst play out of it, which, again, like, it was definitely a little bit telegraphed, but if you're on the side of Liquid, you're definitely wary that this is just being used as a ruse. Maybe they've gone back in the other direction, so you can't quite gamble. But also just Krax. Like, this is the thing, is his entries have been fantastic. Like, just getting into the site, giving space to CNED to then trade, and that's the thing. If you're not aiming at CNED when he walks around the corner, you're dead.
Well, that's a guarantee. Mystic, on the other hand, as well, he has been unreal at shutting down Krax 2 rounds in a row now. We've seen Krax start to pop off, claim those kills, and he's the one to meet him on the other side.
He needs to meet him first, though.
That's it. We need to see that initial fight. He's his kryptonite, but somehow the damage is already done in a lot of these rounds. 7-2. We should have seen 2 for Liquid in that second round. It's a tough position to play from. The mental chipping away. His FUT. Now look for another battle. It's Mystic that will be challenged. It's Krax to take the duel. We said we want to see them fight earlier. He's got some support from Captain, and it's going to be enough. The wall bangs shut him down and now cause some problems on B normally. In fact, there's 2 players there, so they're not panicking too much, but one has to look at mid, and it's dropped by CNED. Now the isolated Nats is going to have to do next to everything by himself because he's lost the rest of his team, and they've seen him. Element of surprise is no more. The same thing for Kiko's teammates. They're all gone, and he's going to be saving this up once again.
I really just want a reel of just CNED putting hit down his trap.
In video games, veggies are left.
CNED putting hit down his trap after he gets a kill. Like, it's like, I got a kill, trap there, carry on with the round like nothing happened. Like, it's great. A lot of the time, it's the most pointless usage ever, but it is funny just watching a player every single round having to shoot that trap. And again, he's doing his job. He's finding a lot of those trade kills. Oh, okay. That's something for Kiko. Might get him that little bit closer to having a showstopper, but I'll be honest, they've been able to avoid his operator. I think that he got the opening kill in a round prior, catching the lurk. Other than that, he's just not been in the right position, unfortunately, and they're going to look to try and hunt him down.
Run!
He's got to try and escape
For
this
your
one.
life.
Still got the shorty in hand,
Nice.
but the trade will be there. And that's the thing, there's so many finances over on the other side for FUT that, oh, we lost 3 players. Well, everybody has like 7,000 credits, so I think we'll be okay.
Yeah, I mean, CNED was max. Very, very close to a couple hundred credits away going into that round. It's just his trap, I think, that took him below max. And you see there, very useful trap. If it wasn't for that, that kill might not have went. I mean, like, it worked. It worked. And yeah, we want to... I think the key thing, actually, is the op dropping, right? That's what we're saying. The impact on FUT's economy is negligible because they're so stacked. But for Team Liquid, they can't get another op.
No.
In fact, they can't really get rifles around this buy. But I want to see him do it at the same time.
It does look like he's about to run down mid, I'll be honest with you.
With that wall as well?
It could just be he's going to go place the orb.
It could be.
I think it's
And it is. Okay. And he's made the move. That sound is heard towards A. They know there's players in and around this area. Showstopper used up again for nothing but for the space. That's the idea. You don't always need the kill once you get the crowd control. Nats controlled into the back of elbow and now trapped a little bit. CNET already dropping one with Mr. Fallen following, and the site control now theirs. There's a drop out of heaven, but that's caught immediately. Way too many bodies here to leave a blind side that big. And okay, Mystic does take down Yedege. It's doable. It's winnable on some level, but Kiko needs to stay alive here. He's got a distraction up top. Somehow they still clear him.
wow.
Well, that is, I don't know if it's clairvoyance for CNED, but damn good work clearing that corner. That could have been a disaster if they engaged the heaven fight first.
But it's also just how he manages to get both. Because those are two completely opposite angles. He has to almost look completely the wrong way to kill off the player in the corner.
What?
And then has to instantly snap back up to heaven because Mystic was there ready to try a trade, but he's just on one at the moment. That's the thing. You take away a lot of the aspects of the abilities and just allow this man to point and shoot, and he's top of the board.
The only thing I can think is one of his teammates saw him. Otherwise, that's the smartest, the best use of game sense I've ever seen.
We've
Guys
always said that, though.
synced up with the server.
We've seen it in the past. If you just
crazy.
allow this guy to shoot, he will do things where you're like, either he heard something I didn't hear or he's cheating.
Yeah.
Like those things.
That is the only options. He had the info or he guessed it. Either way, it worked out. And Team Liquid, those 2 rounds might be finishing the half there. 1 more to fight for. Best case is 3. Remember, this is FUT's map pick, so that's something. But individually right now, FUT just seemed to be on another level.
Yeah. Well, this is also a map that Liquid played like a couple of days ago, so it's not one they're shying away from by any stretch, and they won. And while these battles, again, they try something aggressive, they lose the early fights. They try and be passive, they lose the openers. Like, everything that FUT is doing is working, but a lot of it does feel like they're just beating them on an individual level. Like, okay, sure, yeah, the push and pull has been good. They've been able to walk into sites or avoid stacks that haven't been too problematic for them. But when push comes to shove, it does just look like FUT are able to outgun this Liquid side, which, again, like we're talking about a star-studded roster. We're talking about Yumpy, who for a long time has been one of the best players in EMEA. Nats, no access to site. Well, there's been plenty of access to site throughout this game so far. And while Mystic even waiting on the angle, he's not going to find anything. Plant will be denied for a second. There's only 15 left, but the remaining player of Nats is absolutely nowhere near the action. And if it wasn't bad enough, he's got a tour de force to deal with as well.
Spike planted.
Only a Spectre on Nats too. Can pick up a rifle and give his position away if he so wishes. And he's dead. Oh, he caught him jumping. He's been given a second lease of life, but now there's a tour de force in the hands of CNED staring right at you. You don't get away with that twice. 10 rounds at the half. A half in which FUT lost the pistol round. This is a devastating blow to Liquid to start this series out. And one in which I struggle to even imagine they can come back into this map. Icebox, on the other hand, well, let's hope it's a damn sight different, because right now FUT are outclassing them.
Do you want my little glimmer of hope for Liquid?
Oh, I didn't think there would be one. Hit me with it. Let me know.
When they played versus Koi, just a couple of days ago, they only got 4 rounds on defense, and then they were 9-1 on the attack. So their attack has definitely been better. I think that's been the case for the majority of maps. It needs to be even better than that, though, because that's the thing. 9-1 isn't really going to cut it from this point.
I mean, the difference between the scoreline we see and the result is, okay, second round, losing to the Classics, that was wild. That happens 1 out of 100 rounds for you, 1 out of 50 maybe, let's be generous. But the reality is, when I see this squad in that game against Koi, they had a lot of success with those trap plays on mid. If the 2 trap plays they set up worked, same scoreline, same situation, but they didn't. FUT have been looking very good. And now, the challenge on the A site leaves CNED almost isolated. He has teammates coming through heaven and a way out. And so he'll give up the site, and they'll play for the retake.
Yeah, they were kind of hoping that he'd at least get 1 kill. Oh, well, there it is. Make it another. Captain cracks, just win the battles on the players holding the angles. CNED's going to be healed back up as well, so it goes from bad to worse. They're needing a hero once again. Both players, or 2 of them at least, holding back, and the paranoia is there, but Captain is in front of it. They're just not winning any fights. Every single kill is going the way of FUT. Finally, Mystic is able to get 1, but they're already defusing. They're just going to stick it. There's absolutely no hope, and they're even going for knife kills. Captain is going to give him the mercy of an execution. But the fact is, FUT 11-2 in the lead. This has not even been close.
I'm pretty sure half of Mystic's kills have been on cracks as well. I don't know what it is that he's doing, but he needs to teach everybody else. It has just been a disaster. And we see even here,
this was a 5v5 retake.
Yep. And they didn't get a chance to retake. I mean, FUT just took the fight to them. You look at the situation on ramp. Enzo goes to tuck in the corner. The idea is off contact. There's a paranoia from Mystic. And somehow, FUT kill Enzo and get back up the top of the ramp without losing the player. Yeah. And the timing wasn't that bad. It's just every single thing is working out for them. In instances like that, where it's kind of out of your control, it's to do with the peaking timing and them hitting their shots. I think there was 1 headshot and the bodies didn't connect. But then they're also setting themselves up for success time and time again. Some of their repositions have been out of this world. Captain's always behind people. It's a joy to watch. This defensive side, they're facing off against a force. Yeah. So there's a chance for Liquid. But if they lose this, map 2.
Oh. It is looking like they have lost this, unless Yumpy's going to pull up some serious heroics. That force has gone out pretty much the exact same way you'd expect an eco to go. They get 1 kill, and we move on to the next round where they're going to be buying.
They will be. They will be. They won't be keeping the credits for Icebox, I'll tell you that. But yeah, at 12-2, think about map 2, and hopefully map 3 as well if you're Team Liquid, because
this jacket's really comfy, by the way.
Is it? Is it? What's that logo on it, Tom?
It looks a bit like a big F.
Yeah. Not sure you should be wearing that, but...
I'm just paying my respects, that's all it is.
Oh, no. Now, while this force is obviously weak, but it has brought 3 Bulldogs to bear. Lots of light shields. CNED's out after the initial engagement. Big benefit being able to have him alive later on in the round. 2 shots at opening duels, both fail. CNED runs for the hills and is caught. Okay, bit of push and pull on the map from Team Liquid, and it's worked out for the opening pick. At least get out of there.
It's not going to be that easy, though. A couple of players already rotating back. Mr. Fallen under pressure, though. Doesn't really have much to play with in this round. Still manages to take a fight and back off. The rest of the players not particularly close to behind, and the flash will catch them, but not quite enough. Cracks has now rotated into position. He has been a demon in this matchup. Yumpy has met his maker many times at the hands of Cracks, but this time he'll be able to close him out. Looking like there might be a small lease of life, a candle at the end of the tunnel, because it's not quite a light yet.
Planted.
And the remaining couple of players, and a captain with a rifle, might just want to bring this into the next round, but you have to bear in mind, this is technically still a bonus for them. They can buy in the next one. Nats is going to win the fight, get himself a rifle, and, well, Yedaje, is he about to try and... Oh, I thought he was going to try and jump the trip. I was like, that's pretty optimistic.
It's going to be one hell of a run-up, but no, he's just tucking in, doing what damage he can in the late round, and presumably drop into the spikes. Still has full shields to work with, but we'll see if he can grab a few exits. And he's even let them know exactly where he is. A lot of these players are low. He could do some serious damage, but he won't. He meets his maker at the hands of Mystic. 3 rounds, finally, for for Team Liquid. It is a slow path to recovery and one hell of a long one. Lots of bumps along the way. Thinking about a tour de force for CNED, showstopper for Cracks, that Viper's Pit to lock down some defensive control. And they'll all be online. They can have 2 rounds with full ultimates if they want to.
And I'll be honest, the scariest thing is they haven't needed any of them through the game so far. Like they, as I said, it just looks like they've been able to outgun Liquid at most times, and that's the scariest thing about FUT is when this team is confident. Well, this is what I mean. Like CNED's just run out to throw a trap in, which could have easily got him killed. There is someone there. Oh my, okay. Cracks really did want to play this aggressive fight, and Yuppie will take that all day long. 2 easy kills.
Down mid.
Yadajay still, the spike is in mid though. Okay, CNED clearly forgot that there was a player up there, and Yumpy, he's had a very quiet game so far, but he's got 3 kills in this one already.
Last player standing.
All right.
In video games, veggies are
This one already.
Last player standing.
All right, cleaning house. Hello. On the side of Team Liquid, 4 kills for Yumpy. And 4 rounds for Team Liquid on the back of it. Hey, it's important as well, even if you're not going to claim the map, just to build that momentum, show yourself that, yeah, that first half, FUT were the better team by far. But here, they've warmed back up. At least that's the hope. I like this from Yuppie. Shows the confidence, plays aggressive, even in that first, breaks the trap and then keeps pushing. Claims that little bit of extra space and they didn't expect it. 8 more in a row though. Let's see how this goes. Mystic's got an op. Off rip, attack side, Omen off. I look forward to it.
I guess with Kiko needed to take the space, and he might just be the next best thing. They're about to try and make a play through the trip. There's a couple here already. That's Nats down. Not the start they were looking for. That weapon and the orb are going to be able to be retrieved. Now, if they can get across to it, it was being guarded. The push through from Kiko, that was fantastic. He's taken so much space, but they're going to go running through off the back of it. Again, another trade out. Keeping the advantage with the Mystic holding with the operator will be able to level things up once again. And Cracks is just going to try and go forward, but Kiko has got Mystic's back.
Thankfully, Tom, that could have gotten out of hand very quickly. There were 3 rifles to be claimed in and around B main. 2, in fact. But for this squad, CNED's pistol in the back pocket, not getting much. The headhunter almost giving up on the hunt. He's checking his back. As Yedajay checks the front, he's fallen, and CNED will go walkabouts. Moving to B main. As I said, rifles could be retrieved, and kills, exits could definitely be found. Got his TP to get out of here. There's the rifle. Now he becomes so much scarier. 7 bullets. And with 3, he takes down Kiko. Still confident to stay out wide, knowing his TP is there. Picks up another rifle. He doesn't want them to get out of here alive. He doesn't want them to have the weapons, but instead he falls at the hands of Mystic. Not a cost that FUT are shying away from paying. 12-5. They've got plenty of rounds to bounce back on.
I need a replay of the trap usage.
Oh, do you?
Just place it in the radius of the spike. I guess his idea is if anyone... Look, that was at the end. I actually love it. It's brilliant.
It could have worked, right? If you run out of main, you just get caught.
But
wow.
I will rip the light.
That's another purchase. As you said, those ults now starting to come online, but for both sides. An instant combination with the nade. In fact, the orb is going to be used just to section off an angle for CNED to try and fight with. Now, Mystic is waiting. He's got Kiko alongside him. Enzo there as well. They are very aware of this aggressive position. CNED in a spot that, yeah, you need to escape from.
That's good timing on the first, but the info comes his way. Somehow he makes it around the corner in time, just dodging the bullets, half his HP. That's a price he's happy to pay, considering he's revealed the entirety of this squad. Gave Mystic the room to TP on the site, but Yumpy flanking out on B was caught. Nats eventually dealt with on top ramp, and now the numbers thin out further. Sure, Mystic is still there, but the Seekers give all the info away. There's 2 players on mid, 1 on A site. Mystic needs to try and join his teammates, and they can't cross. Not till he gets closer to put that smoke down and at least deal with CNED, who's posted up on the angle. This is a fragmented round from Liquid. Man disadvantage, limited map control.
30 seconds
They're
left.
about to give away even more information. The Seekers were helpful. The trap.
Perfect.
Tom's going to be asking for a replay of this one. Beautifully put down. Gorgeous, Tom. Couldn't have done that better myself, I have to say.
No, you'd have missed it
Satchel
somehow.
out.
There we go, though. Into the site. Nobody currently watching on that cross, but if they get the timing right, the spike could be
10
dropped.
seconds
Wasn't
left.
in the hands of Kiko, but they will be able to get it over. Put this into an afterplant, or so you might think. It's
I've got
bait.
your trail
The jump
down.
across leaves it down to
player
Enzo
standing.
within the site, already dead. Mystic, 1 versus 4 to try and keep them in this map, and it is not going to be happening. Utter domination as FUT make their presence known back in EMEA. And for the side of Liquid, Mitch, this is not the showing they were. I've been enjoying the Gecko quite a bit. I definitely think I enjoy it a little bit more with having a second initiator, like having the KO and the Gecko, just to have those combinations. But for now, at least,
Sana, sana.
we are going to have ourselves a very aggressive push by the defensive side. But that's the thing, FUT were very happy to take the fight versus their opposition, already claiming that early orb. And in the meantime, okay, we've had a little bit of a push coming out of the other side. But it does look like already building in to what will be an A take. It seems like the information is definitely going to be there already, though.
Well, yeah, Ada Captain got enough info for sure. They're confident to stack it up. They're just worried about the mid flank that is underway from Kiko. It looks like he's got perfect timing on the way through. This attack side just needs to fake it enough that it looks like they are committing, so no one goes back. Oh, that's an awkward fight. But Kiko's won it, and he's done so much damage onto Ada Captain as well. Now this defensive side has to watch their back, be worried about the flank all the while. The aggression on site can come through. The wall broken open. But it's slow. It's slow. It
30
looks like they're
seconds
waiting
left.
for FUT to make another mistake for an overextension, but that's not coming through. FUT are patiently waiting for Team Liquid to take a step forward, winning their fights as they do.
Spike
A
down
quick
A.
trade back, and
Last
Yumpy on
player
another.
standing.
Leaves Cracks alone, and he'll fall. 3 kills from Yumpy. That's what it takes to get a pistol for Liquid.
Yeah, I'm happy to see him get off to the races. He had a round in the previous map, but other than that, it was definitely a rough performance from him, and he has been, as said, over the last couple of years, one of the most consistent factors within the VCT. They're getting off to a good start with the pistol,
Spike down A.
and on the other side
One
of things,
enemy remaining.
not expecting much going into this round from FUT. You're going to see CNED picking up the Marshal, which can always be problematic, but on the other side, you got the slightly buffed version.
Only slightly. Outlaw is incredibly strong. Lots of players close here. Ada Captain, right-click range is perfect, and he's got 2. Not again! That's 3 kills for FUT in a round where they have next to nothing. Ada Captain, he's sneaking away with the weapon as well. He's just rounded the corner in time. Now he's got support. This is why I was worried, and it's just Ada with a classic that's already torn Team Liquid's early round to shreds. Kill from Yedeje puts it all down to Yumpy. 3 kills in the last round. 3 kills needed this time. Him against the world. And the lack of info to work with. You can already see Mr. Fallen wrapping. They've got him trapped inside of yellow. Good kill on the first, but now they group up together and find the final kill. Deja vu of map number 1. As Team Liquid win the pistol and lose it to 3 classic kills in the follow-up. Well, 2 classic kills.
That's a really good spot
there's
to
a
have a drone. It's really, really good. Again, the fact he got 1 was impressive. The fact he gets 3, I feel like that's just going to give Team Liquid nightmares. And again, silence has fallen within this building. A lot of Liquid fans here today, and it is not going the way they hoped. Already you can see these rifles brought through from the previous round alongside some upgrades for the rest of the team. Obviously, that was an eco. There was only a Marshal. Everything else was classics. To do that once, what do you say? 1 in 50 times?
That's what I said. That's what I settled on.
How about twice in 2 maps?
Yeah, it's tough.
Beating the odds a bit.
Twice out of 2. There's only been 2 follow-ups on a pistol for them, so that's it's pretty rough. I think it speaks to FUT's consistency in these rounds, the ability to find those, even if the opportunities are given, to capitalize on it every time is incredible.
down A.
And he's out of there. That's the beauty of CNED on this agent. Right back to the back of A site. Team Liquid obviously just working with classics. You can see the disadvantages. They're tangible.
Yeah,
Next
yeah,
thing
you can see the disadvantages.
One enemy remaining.
Unless it's on the other team.
Yeah.
Then you don't see them as much.
I mean, you'd
weirdly.
never expect them to do anything with classics, would
No,
you, Tom? Only FUT. Well, 2-1. FUT claim essentially a pistol round victory. I mean, they get that little boost in, but their economy's in a great position. There's a lot more benefits to the way that they've gone about these early rounds, to the fact that they lose so few players in the follow-ups too.
Economically, it is better to basically lose the pistol and win the second when not buying.
Yes.
That's the best thing you can do for your economy.
Yes, but you should never really win
No,
those
you should
rounds.
never be able to do that. But they've done it twice, so, you know, it's something that needs to be mentioned, weirdly. Also, for somehow they have almost put, this looks like an OT round. All of them were 3 orbs away from getting their ultimate online, so they managed to spread the wealth. It means that Yumpy and Kiko are actually getting pretty close. CNED is going to have to fade away from this, or so you think. There is a pop flash that allows the peak, but it's not even him. It's Mr. Fallen. Again, constantly pressuring and pushing this Liquid side, not allowing them to get into position for executions. They've always been a really difficult team to play against because of the manner in which they aggress. Wall down mid has to be broken just to force somebody to come back in that direction. And at the moment, they've left Ada Captain alone, but again, so far, that has been enough for a B-side defense.
Toxins going up.
Liquid are approaching this one slowly. No
Toxins
doubt,
going
after how
down.
things have gone, there is a sense of trepidation to any sort of angle they're peeking.
Here.
It's towards the B site, but FUT are making that read. Yedajay's on the way to back up his colleague, Ada Captain, down below. A dangerous duo in the worst of
30
times.
seconds left.
And it seems like we're in the best for FUT. Wall will go up to at least obscure vision, but he goes ahead of it. Yedajay falls, but Ada Captain trades. 20 seconds. They need that spike to be planted. The wall falls, and still he gets another, despite facing 3 opponents. He'll claim 1 before falling, leaving the advantage in the hands of FUT on the retake.
Toxins
It's not going to get them anything. I have the information that players could be close, but don't know exactly where the Liquid players are.
One enemy
Rotation
remaining.
coming in already. Krax is going to win the duel, and it's left onto
Toxin
Nats.
screen down.
A legend on Icebox, but he's going to have to pull off a miracle again, looking to potentially peak him. At the same time, his position known. He's not even going to win that first fight. CNED puts him in the grave. An immediate addition to their lead from FUT. 3 players standing as well. If the economy wasn't already building, it will continue to. For the side of Liquid, again, they're going to have themselves some finances at least to play with. That loss bonus, the spike plant is helping them out a little bit, but so far it's looking like more of the same.
You know, I like Jack, our third-person observer, gave us a little angle there of a nice lineup that's been coming through from Yumpy. The Nano Swarm going up onto pipes, denying that control. But it just doesn't matter. Like, you can place your utility perfectly when it comes down to it. Pound for pound right now, FUT are miles ahead. They are winning. Even the Ada Captain position, how he gets one. The guy is nuts to make that 90-degree flick with 3 players facing him. They had the drop on him, but he still drops 1. FUT are on 3, Team Liquid invest fully. All the credits on the line. Light shields on 4 players. A lockdown to work with for Yumpy. Won't be putting that in for a moment. And Mr. Fallen also has the Hunter's Fury. So there is no easy way to go about this.
Also, just look how far the players on FUT have pushed. They are all the way down B already. Here comes that lockdown. Now, Mr. Fallen, it seems like they're just going to try and use their utility to destroy it instead, which they will. Shock darts in combination with that fragment means that there hasn't really been the space taken. They're ready though. Kiko watches for those players running in from behind, and now they're going to hightail it back towards the B site, finally catching out that aggression. Rotation from Mr. Fallen has to win this fight, and he will. Definitely makes things a little bit more interesting, and the lower that clock gets, the scarier things become, because he still has that Hunter's Fury saved. The thing is, though, it seems like the rotations of which way they've gone is completely wrong, and Nats, being so deep in kitchen, knows it.
Yeah, Yumpy stayed close on A there, even sold the fake, got them to rotate back. I'm not sure what the sound cue was, what he did to let them know, but they were convinced it was an A play. Now they've spotted Nats after his kill, but by the time they deal with him, the round may already be lost. They need to pick up the pace on going forward, and he's not an easy player to root from his position. He's gone back to check for Yedege. The Spidey senses tingled correctly, but they still have time for this. They'd have to get on it very, very quickly.
Yeah.
And you imagine Liquid with 3 players, they would be able to deny them. They have utility. I mean, Yedege's going in at least to keep them around for the spike explosion. And they won't be around. That round is closed out nicely by Enzo. A quick double for 2 rounds.
So the one benefit of them actually going for that is the fact that that puts both ults of the remaining players online.
True.
So them going down, if they go down to the spike or anything, or if they save, they're not going to have those ultimates. So now you have 4 of the 5 ults. 1 is 1 away, and that's the Blade Storm for CNED. So even though Liquid have managed this, it's still going to be problematic. It's a good push and pull, though. The fact is, Kiko catching that aggression, I feel like FUT are going to have to be a little bit more tentative in the way that they push from now on, with that being watched, and just Nats doing Nats things. That's what we love to see on this map. It's a map, as said, that we have seen him so many times cause issues for teams on his lurks.
Well, the Viper's Pit is used by FUT off rip, one of their 4 ultimates that's online. Beautiful thing about CNED having an ult too is that he's probably going to have, or being 1 away, he'll have that Blade Storm online by the time he needs it, because he's hitting that first shot 9 times out of 10.
Or if he doesn't, he has it next round. So
Exactly. Worst case scenario, it's free investment. But yeah,
they're going to leave him solo. That's the thing. Like, you have this Viper's Pit. The expectation from FUT is definitely that Liquid are going to play through this, because they've left 2 players, both initiators in fact, behind. They've got
There's my buddy.
the Yedege watching middle, and then the rest is all onto CNED. Now I can only assume with the ults they have, the plan is CNED gets 1 kill, and then they just play retake.
this becomes somewhat readable. I mean, it depends on how FUT conclude, but they heard the alarm bot get pulled back from inside of A main. I'm fairly certain it was pulled back. Yumpy is dropped, so it won't be put back into the round. And they're now starting to realize, yes, these rotations have come through. There's no way out. CNED's caught. Blade Storm could have helped that time. Now the numbers are evened up. There's a res online for Yedege. They've got some mid control to work with to fight back through, but yeah, but you're not going to res him. But perhaps one of the future engagements, Yedege's partnered up with Krax, who at least trades him out. No res to play with, but an ult on Krax could still spur them forward, deleting that utility from Enzo, allowing them some space to play with. Great if they had the wall still. Hunter's Fury too. Hello, big connection, and not going to follow up. No kill from it. Enzo left on 7. He still has Dizzy to work with, but suppressed by Krax, who's now closing the distance. They tap the spike, bait out more utility, and bait out a firefight. Enzo down, Mystic swinging, close is caught. This is getting a little risky now, as Nats had to swing to confirm they weren't defusing. 3 kills for Krax, and time is the only enemy remaining. It's against them. But just about 0.13 of a second. Every little detail falls in place for FUT yet again.
Oh, that is so unfortunate. Like you see as well, like the late usage of Thrash to try and deny them the space, the fight back into the round once again, Kiko being able to win that battle and then just trading back and forth. It comes down to Nats. You almost would believe that he has it. And just the final shots being connected by Krax is going to put them ever further into the lead. And still, even though they lose so many players, they have the finances to buy once again. Use quite a lot of ults, though. And one of them's going to come online instantly for the side of Kiko. Looking to try and lead the charge a little bit. Mr. Fon genuinely has no fear. They have gone to grab that orb in the first few seconds of every round.
There hasn't been any denial there for it. And one of the main things you'll see thrown out is a, snake bite shock dart. Don't have that to worry about. Shorter Team Liquid just speeding up on the angle. They'll be safe as can be. Kiko on his way through with his Blade Storm in hand, and, well, Enzo has lost his life immediately. Good angle by Krax. He fades back in the spike plant, at least secure inside the Viper's Pit. A wall up to prevent them from even filling in this initial space, so there's a lot of little angles that FUT need to consider on the way back through. This is somewhere that they have the advantage. Yedege has a res if they need it, but getting that Viper's Pit dealt with is going to be another problem. They try to take Viper down, but Mystic's the one to fall. Snake bites being fired out, give away the position. They are ruthlessly hunting down Nats, forcing him from his ultimate that will ultimately be dropped by the looks of things. Mr. Fallen back online with the snake bite, gets CNED. Good kill by Nats, followed up with more. 4 to finish. And Team Liquid, well, they're 1 away from equalizing it. It's a better look. They're fighting early, and that's what we didn't see from them on split.
Yeah, I think as well, just again, Nats getting into the game. He is someone who, as said, in some of their kickoff runs and some of the matches, they look good. He was one of the pinnacle players for them. And coming out with a 4K when things got dangerously close. That's the thing, fighting back through that pit. And he's able to just clean them up so low after that point. Snakebite as well to deny any defusal. And now finally, after what has been a tough road, they have managed to break the economy. Now this does still come with the piece of the puzzle that is CNED's Bladestorm. But definitely a much easier round than the ones they've been facing off against in the last few.
I got you.
It should be. It should be, Tom. Captain's gone for a stinger, not a classic, so I'm feeling a little bit safer about how this one will play out. Yumpy's turret caught contact, and he's gone back to try to find the players. We're moving forward towards the B site. The stack is in play. Foot have a lot to work with. Shock dart down, and okay, little guy, he's still going. He survived quite an onslaught of utility and bullets there. He's definitely the MVP of the early round. The late round, well, it should be easy for Liquid to tie up. Even with the rifle picked up for Yedege, there is not very much for them to work with. They don't have a wall to deny control. It's cloud bursts in the form, basically the only smokes they've got.
Oh yeah! Monster on the loose!
Ult committed as well, thankfully, because it looks like some space is seriously being taken. Foot not giving up an inch, but
blocking sight.
Left down in an awkward position. Cracks diffusing while eventually a snake bite lands, and that is what wins them the round. Team Liquid up to 4. It definitely got a little too close for comfort, though, again, considering what Foot had in play.
Yeah, it's one of those scenarios where they lose so many players to cracks with the Sheriff, the Bladestorm for CNED. Like, they're never really getting away from having that lower economy, but they're getting through the rounds. And I think if you're going to see Liquid build up into this series, this might just be the way they have to do it. It's going to be a grind, because the fact is Foot are still playing with that next level confidence.
Yes,
well, 4-4. Getting things back into contention. CNED once again with the operator is pushed all the way up.
Ooh. This time almost punished, but not quite. Good angle by Nats. Crossed with his own orb. And they thought Yedege had enough of it covered, but a small gap left open. And it's capitalized on. Team Liquid have the advantage to play with. CNED's op was spotted and pushed back without an opening duel. Everything's going right at the start, and Nats has managed to sneak away with another kill. Crack's now down. He turns his attention back to the tube. Yedege's down below it, waiting for him on the other side of the orb, actually. Caught a little angle. Captain, 10 HP. Good wall bang, good punish. He'll struggle to find anything else. This, well, it could go a little better if Nats was still alive. It's down to a 3 versus 2 with CNED's up and Yedege close. It's by all means winnable for the side of Foot, especially as they now equalize the numbers. And when this wall goes down, when the cove fades, the op will be sitting on the other side, planting inside a cove while there's a player close. It's a free battle for Yedege. If there was a harbor on Foot, I'd assume they put that in.
There's so many rounds that just look like they're set for Liquid to win. I feel like, again, you're talking about the Nats effect. He manages to lurk his way through, get 2 openers for the squad, and okay, he goes down, but it's this that just he does the same thing twice within the same cove that they put down, and then CNED's just waiting on the other side. Like, these are just errors coming out from Liquid, and sure, you need the gall of someone like Yedege to play into that twice and not expect somebody to be waiting, but you cannot allow him to get away with that. Foot are even going to be the one of losing 4 players to pistols. You now have nothing. Like, there's been no reserve cash ever built up for Liquid because they're losing so much in rounds that
You did good.
they should be able to keep cleaner.
I mean, the best example being the anti-eco not long ago, and they come down to 1 player left alive. Bladestorm is in play there, sure, but didn't even have that much impact, all things considered. Foot have just been able to make it work, whether they're coming in with weapons or tools. They're coming out with victories.
Already, the read for them is good. The wall not being broken means mid-control isn't an issue. I've seen it on the other side, so they're going to have 4 players ready and waiting. It looks like the plant, nope, that's going to be denied as well. I think at least doing a little bit of extra damage, but an immediate heal to reduce the danger. While Looking like this might just be a clean one.
One enemy remaining.
It's going to be an Andaluthia flawless to get themselves their 6th round onto the board. Looking to see what sort of response Liquid have. They've got the lockdown, but there's a lot of counters to it in this round.
Yeah, and a lot of counters in terms of ults, in terms of utility that's been in play as well. We've seen not really too much of a bother. Like, this is definitely, if I look at Split, I would say, despite knowing Liquid have played it, even up against Koi a couple days ago, like we discussed in that map, it looked like Liquid were not ready to play it. It looked like they had some trap ideas, but again, the push and pull of the map and control just was not there when it comes to, and also individually, FUT were just smashing. Oh no, oh no. Somehow you know Yedege is going to win that fight almost every time. FUT have been insane in early battles. And this is the thing, they're making it work. They're controlling the map. They've got the economy. They've got the ult economy going for them. And the one thing that Liquid had, you know, lockdown.
Oh yeah, that's gone.
It's out. It's out of here.
Yeah, they're going to leave.
Take flight.
The drone. That's going to get a lot of info. Already spotting the head of one. Does it see anything else? Yes, it does. 2 more players. They know basically where this entire push is coming in. They're going to try and do a little bit of extra chip damage, but you can see Yedege has already rotated into position to support. They've got the A site locked down. They've got a push from CNED coming in as well on the flank. Basically, every single possible piece of information is currently on board for FUT. They're going to try and isolate themselves a duel here, but I don't even know if they check towards this angle. No, they definitely don't now. Yedege gets away with murder, and it's a back-to-back Andaluthia flawless for FUT. They are starting to truly run away with this again.
And Tom, they used one ult. They've got 3 still to work with.
It had no impact.
For the final round, FUT come in with a res, a null command, and a Hunter's Fury. Team Liquid have a lockdown that's going to meet a Hunter's Fury when it's used. And Mystic, while he can reckon with his opponents, that might be useful, especially for getting into a site, for taking space. I think it's going to be used on A, but by the looks of it, FUT will play retake. Like, right away, they're just giving up the site. This does mitigate one of the big factors for FUT, which is their early picks. They can't really occupy that space. You don't think they can occupy that space, yet somehow they still get an early pick. It's just happening again and again. This team is untouchable.
Oh no, they haven't been able to get the plant in either. Viper's Pit is going to be used, but they might not even be able to get the plant in here. That Reckoning was meant to give them the space in the plant. Instead, well, they got a little bit of space, but the plant definitely hasn't happened, and that was the major factor of their after plant last time. Being able to get in early and then just hold from the backlines. Even then, they still needed the clutch out of Nats. This time, the Hunter's Fury is going to be used to deny that lockdown. So that space is still not going to be garnered just yet. Just hoping that they can somehow get in and get themselves the plant. But Anna Captain is just waiting patiently. The second that is tapped, he's going to attempt to spam.
Oh, just block it, duh. Now he's up close in a safe spot. They're going to try to make their way out. The spam doesn't work out, but CNED up top, or down below, in fact, able to find one. It's Cracks supporting. And that same line of fire, they barely need to move. Liquid walk into their open, waiting hands. Not a bad idea to play the backside push. Execution different, as it has been nothing but execution from this FUT side. Double the rounds of Team Liquid at the half, Tom. Give me the hope, you know, defensive side, Team Liquid. It's all gonna be different. Why?
Spike down A.
I'll be honest with you.
Oh no, Tom, don't do that to me. Don't do that to me.
I'm more worried for them now. Look at the scoreboard for FUT. It's not even like one player's just going ham. I guess, okay, if I'm giving you some hope, I'm looking at Kiko. Okay. Because in their first matchup, when they played against Koi and they scraped the win on Icebox, he had 37 kills. This kid can frag. Putting him onto that sort of defensive side, having the setup of Enzo as well, like this Gecko allows for those flashes into aggressive peaks. It can work out for him. We've also seen some glimmers of hope from Nats and Yumpy at times as well, so if they can come online, there's still opportunity.
Well, there's some chances for Team Liquid. This scoreline isn't damning. It's the last map and the way some of these rounds have gone that make me worried. FUT find pistols in their hands yet again. A terrifying concept for Team Liquid. now need to try to win this pistol to inject some round, well, inject one round based on how we've seen it go so far. Let's not get our hopes up, not get too far ahead of ourselves. Good stuff from Yumpy, a 3K in the last pistol, 2 in this. Will it be enough? The damage being dished out as we speak, leaving Mr. Fallen all alone with a classic in hand. 2 players staring at him, and a clean response from Team Liquid. Another pistol, their second of the map, now secured. The follow-up though, Tom, that's where the questions are.
Keep your pistols again. Because they win the pistols, they just lose the second round. So if you play the second round as a pistol, then you're just playing another pistol, then you win.
That's true. Just
as a pistol.
Actually, the majority of rounds in this series have been off pistols. So they should only play. In fact, round 5, I still want to see pistols. 6 pistols.
Okay.
9K in the bank.
You've lost me a little bit there.
I'm just trying anything, Tom.
It's the start that they needed. And again, I don't want to say it, but there's barely anything invested for FUT.
Great. Good.
Now, a lot of what they were able to do was on their defense, so you kind of hope that there's going to be that conversion here.
Enemy kill.
Kiko well placed. That will be the start that they need. And normally it's sort of snowballed when they've lost these rounds. It hasn't been like trades in a lot of these cases. He doesn't actually have any support. That's the only thing that is worrying me. There is absolutely no one nearby. Finally, Yumpy's going to sort of switch his positioning, and they'll get Enzo into mid instead. And now I think it looks a lot less damning than it could have done.
Yeah. Well, especially he's made it out of that spot, having burned his dash up early, didn't find contact, couldn't use it to escape then. I was a little bit worried. Now it's time to play a little bit of blind darts. Oh no, they pushed through the wall. They've taken the fight to them. Good for the start, but Enzo's unchecked up top and a snake bite. Someone's cosplaying safe on the stage. Yedajay's gone down and Krax is all alone. 1v4, Sheriff in hand, and players wrapping all around.
They did it.
Night and sweet dreams. Team Liquid
Well done,
have
lads.
won a follow-up to a pistol.
Fantastic. Maybe this is the turning of the tide.
It could be.
Definitely some belief still within the arena, that's for sure. And that's the thing, especially now with the pistol under their belt, this definitely isn't a death sentence. But though, they're gonna have the fall by.
Right here.
Full shields on every single player at setup. Initially for the defense, it's gonna be leaning towards that B site. Looking like they want to try and take similar control away to what was there for the other side, but I guess without the early aggression, they've decided immediately to try and stack back up over on A. That's where the drone's coming through. That's where the majority of the players are, but the spike's still on the ground, and 2 players have deep pushed B already.
Curious to see where that spike ends up shifting towards. FUT seem to be just faking out A, getting control, putting down some util. Sorry, taking some util out of the hands of Team Liquid, more so breaking it. And then the shift back towards B. Screen goes up, crosses in, players on yellow. Now for Team Liquid, it's Nats. Very long range with a Spectre. He's not trying to fight. He's just trying to grab the information as they come up. But that info was denied. He didn't see anything, but he suspects it. So the rotations are in. 4 players for the defenders will now be here. And even as Nats throws out this snake bite, he has support.
Oh, it's gorgeous.
The flash is too good. No, that was near perfect. Good play on the drop down, and they almost caught Ada Captain, but he sneaks around the corner. Good shot by Kiko. Okay, and you know what, Tom? It's starting to look doable again.
Yeah, still the problem of him being weak and the weaker weaponry for the other players is definitely going to make things more problematic. Also,
At the Moonbase McDonald's, there's
it's definitely going to make things more problematic. You've also still got the aggressive positioning of Krax. The flash again. This is why we want to see this guy just back on the KO, because every single time he is a menace. A response from FUT, and you just love the way that they synergize around that utility. I even feel like the utility from Mystic kind of helped them out. Like you see that wave coming through, and they just pop flash through it as they would their own screen, and it's just an immediate kill onto Nats. Now sure, weaker weaponry, it was definitely going to be difficult for him to win that battle anyway, but that's the thing with FUT. You might expect that they get into an afterplant and they fall back. That's never going to be the way they play. They're so infuriating with how aggressive and how much space they take.
It's interesting as well, the mosh pit on back yellow. I think the idea was to get the player to swing to the right. Instead he goes left, round the back, and Krax is able to find all that space. 44 HP on CNED. Early spams, but he's put back up
Oh no!
after making it through decay. Nats, 1 kill. Position known. Snakebite denies the plant for a while. It will buy some time. The mid plays. I thought Mr. Fallen might be flanking.
Oh, they put that there on purpose. 100%. I was looking at that wall and saying that's got a ridiculously big gap in it. Oh, okay. A nice kill to take down Cena, but still so much they have to do. He's going to have his Thrash online. That might be able to clear some of the space as his teammates look to get that a little bit closer. They are going to be watching for it and deny it ever further. The spam isn't going to find anything else, but the whole goal is to try and clear them out the back line, but he's so desperately low. Kiko, however, has been able to give them that man advantage. Even still, though, a single bullet could remove him from action. The spam is going to take down the wingman and not allow for anything more, but they have now tapped it. The players have to start spraying, but the shots are not being connected. And Mr. Fallen, he's done enough. The time is gone. Liquid will get the kills. FUT will get the round.
Yeah, and I know which one I'd prefer. FUT now on double digits, 3 away from taking it.
The way you reacted to that wallbang, I think you'd rather have the kill.
Tom, an Odin retake on B wallbang from Snowman through the box. I will say this, I do not get to see that every day. That is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. The gap in the wall, though, almost better. I mean, what a good idea. Oh no, we've made a mistake. Please don't snakebite us.
That's the thing. It's either intentional or just adaptation in the moment.
Yeah,
and either way, it was just...
At some point, likely to be a huge impact round. Team Liquid come in with a lot of weaknesses. 1 rifle on Nats because he has that little bit to work with, having saved it over. But the rest of the squad, not investing, not looking to gamble at all here and now. Bladestorm's going to be used by Kiko as well, and that's the end of the compliments for the Liquid prospects. For FUT, they should clean this one up. They should end up with most of those ultis online, and then that's 11-6 in a swing round when Team Liquid invest everything. You've got these ultis to beat them back into submission. It's scary if you're on that defensive side, and for now, you can see the A site has been taken. A big retake going to be needed for Team Liquid.
Yeah, and especially when you don't have that much utility to play with. You don't have weaponry either. Like how you're going to push these players out of the deeper positions in the post plant is going to be so difficult. And bear in mind, they held on to a lot of their util because you didn't have anything to stop them. So it's not looking great. Yedaje doesn't have much to lose, so he's just going to play aggressively with the Stinger, already clearing out a couple. Kiko does well, but he needs to do so much more. 3rd kill already on the books. And Mystics managed to get onto the defusal. The problem is he now goes down. It has to be the ace, and it needs to be soon. The 4th kill for Kiko. At minimum needs to get this to half. Cracks just looking to try and go for the peak, but he's just playing with the timer. It is a nice attempt from Kiko. He'll make this one costly, but again, FUT are the ones to take the round.
And look at the kill dispersion, Tom, what it's ended up doing with the plant as well. FUT now walk in, 3 ults in hand, Cracks 1 away after that last kill. They are going to have a lot of safety nets to fall back on, and yeah, sure, look, a lot of kills, it's great. It puts most of these players down to their last credits on the attacking side for the investment. It's also 11-6 if they win this round. That simply doesn't matter. And for Team Liquid, potentially, they've bought themselves 1 anti-eco, which, if we look at the win rates, that's not even as good as it might seem. So this is a very precarious position for this defensive side to be in, and that's when Kiko goes, screw it, I'm sending it. Hasn't even activated his dash. There it is eventually. He's round the side, and he's been caught and dealt with. That was a
I like
big
the idea. Like, I like the idea with the high tide.
Yeah,
the problem is they have a res. Enzo needs to try and find something more, but eventually decides, okay, I know that FUT are waiting on the other side. Kiko's given me that information. It's just not worth that peak. And now with no command, he has to do this with no util. It basically just has to be off own individual brilliance. He'll get 1, but again, that's a player who could be res. It might be 2 reses in a round for Enzo. No kills, even though he's managed to drop a couple of players. And it keeps things in a 4 versus 3. Straight away, we're going to see that reckoning, but a response, I like it. The ult is going to deny any space, and Nats goes down with it. Mystic's been able to sneak his way out, though. That's the one major benefit. He's got a little bit further than they might expect, but look how far they're going. They're just leaving. They've used all of their util. They've used everything to take that site. And the only thing that's going to stand in their way is Yumpy, who's made the early read.
But these B-side defenses have been tough. FUT are able to win these almost every time. Good timing, though, on the recon. Yumpy, a surprise factor now as he catches Yedajay. Looks at the back. Oh, but he second guesses himself. Still isolating the right duel and leaving Mr. Fallen alone. A 1v1 that could turn the tide of this game for Mystic with 10 seconds. That plan needs to go in here. And no, but Mr. Fallen wins it again in these clutch situations. FUT just do not find themselves downtrodden ever.
My man is about to release some sort of pyramid scheme of how to become an alpha male, because with seconds left on the clock, he fake plants and just dips Mystic, moves himself top of the board as well. And well, this is the thing. This is what we talk about with fragging IGLs. Mr. Fallen just hits different.
He really does. He's 17 and 12 right now. After the whole conversation, hey, listen, you're right. That's what he deserves. You think about the conversation today. We started it out. CNED, one of the best.
Your opponents have hit 12, and while CNED's about to come in with the Blade Storm. And for the positives, they have a lockdown.
Oh, hooray!
Get out of my way!
Revealing area.
Good. I saw the way things have gone. I'm almost more terrified of CNET's classic. They am his Blades, and perhaps I'm right to be. Blades dealt with immediately. Mystic falls, though. Good trade on the back of the flash from Enzo. Kiko able to grab another, and they are hightailing it out of there. No longer wanting to commit to the fight with the Turkish squad. Instead, Team Liquid play defense, and FUT, man disadvantage. Kiko on the corner as well. Looking to double up those advantages. 4 versus 2. And the pull around from Mr. Fallen, well, he'll have to get a lot of value off this flash. Some space taken, but Enzo shuts him down.
Yeah, puts them down to just cracks. Still someone you have to be careful of. He's definitely been looking good back on the KO. The guns are out already as they just hold onto the angle, but Kiko still there. And that's the thing. He has been a real difference maker, even though this defensive side hasn't been fantastic. I think in the first half he had 6 kills. He's had 14 in the second half, and it still hasn't looked that different. But we're starting to see that now. I like the aggressive stance. Like with how FUT have been able to just get into these sites, get into after plants and play those posts. Just wanting to take it to them a little bit. Show that they still have that individual skill to match up versus the Turkish powerhouse. And well, you said you were afraid of something.
Yeah, pistols on FUT. I just feel bad, man. I'm feeling terrified with what they're bringing to the table, because Team Liquid have lost these rounds again and again. Rifles in their hand. And FUT closing the distance. 4 players on the choke. Nats up close. Good swing, and he's dropped. Oh no, not again. The deja vu's already hitting, but Enzo with 2 kills, 3 kills in fact. It looks like we finally tied a bow in this one. I took a moment. Those spams through the smoke, but he's 28 HP.
Oh, he's 26.
There's no way that he gets away with this one, and the flank even being watched by Yumpy. Big ult round for Team Liquid 2, building up Thrash on Enzo. And this kill should be quick, it should be clean. We move on, 12 to 8. 4 more needed for Team Liquid to bring us to an overtime and keep this series alive.
Yeah, again, thankfully for them, a lot of these wins have not been coming off the back of ultimates. So they're still going to have Thrash, they're still going to have Lockdown. Finances building, but again, it doesn't matter so much as long as they're getting buys onto the board. And on the other side of things, you've only really got that Viper's Pit available to them. It still does feel, though, that this is just moments away from FUT closing it. Similarly to the last map, like, you had a few moments, you had a few sort of breathers for Liquid where you go, okay, they look like they're finally getting into things, and then just sledgehammer.
Yeah. FUT have woken up
I got eyes here.
whenever they've needed to, whenever things have looked good for Liquid, and the sun's starting to shine yet again. Or is that gray cloud? We'll sneak up by FUT, but this is all being watched by Killjoy Utility, so nothing to worry about really. It's just a window peek up top. And Yumpy's going to be caught by that, of course. Now mid is wide open. Even being watched by Nats, he can't determine very much.
Is the
They could already be
lockdown
up
gone
to
again? I feel like every time he has it, he's immediately dead. It's never really had that impact. Kiko trying to put himself in. Honestly, it seems like they might try and avoid him, and I don't mind it because he's been so good in this second half. Another kill, 21 to his name. As I said, I feel like that 37 might be needed if they're going to close out this series, but in the meantime, hightailing it back towards the B site. Viper's Pit is available, and Yedajay still hanging around. This fight could be absolutely everything. He's not quite looking the right way, but he still manages to win it. One off having that res online, but it might not be needed. Mr. Farland looking to take it into his own hands, and Yerajay from the back will be there to close it. FUT might have gone out of kick.